Hey, Brent, how's it going?
Every day is a blessing, and you?
I'm doing amazing. I just woke up.
Oh, hi, man. You out there in California?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for reaching out yesterday. I know you mentioned that you've been watching the videos a lot recently. Absolute game changer, in your words, and you're in internet sales at a Nissan dealership. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. Well, pleasure speaking with you this morning. So, when you say you're in internet sales, are you like in the BDC aspect of it, or you do everything, getting leads, closing the deals, and what do you do exactly?
Yeah, so I do everything. I take, I, I can take ups if I want to, but I get leads and everything. Not so much of a BDC.
Okay, perfect. And how many lead? How long have you been in car sales?
Uh, that 7 months.
7 months. Okay. You like it?
Yeah, yeah, it's cool.
All
It's
right.
cool.
All right. So what part are you having challenges with? What part are you great at? How can I help you? What do you need help with the most?
This is gonna sound really, really stupid,
Okay.
but I cannot break more than 20 cars. I cannot sell more than 20 cars. Like, as much as I try to do something different, I just can't muster to sell more than 20 cars.
Well, why not?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay. So this is, in my opinion, what you need to do. Do you track how many people you get in front of?
Um, Through my CRM, it does, but I personally don't. That was something I wanted to try next.
Okay. So this is the part that okay. So when I was stuck at, 40 cars a month, I needed to figure out how to sell more. And I've always done tracking numbers, but that's when I really started like diving deep into understanding the numbers. So this is what you have to do, and this is what's going to tell you what how you need to structure your day to sell more than 20 cars. So in your opinion, just how many people do you think you deal with a month, face to face?
Face to face, I mean, maybe 60.
60. Okay. So that means you sell one out of three people. Is that right?
Yeah, about,
Okay.
give or take.
All right. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to increase that. That means one out of three people. So you have two different ways that you can do it. You can get in front of more people, or you can close at a higher percentage. So this is what I would like from you to do going from today forward. And that is to track every single person you come in contact with, whether it's a person driving on the lot that you can't get them out of their car, that's still an up, or just any way, shape, or form. If you get in front of them, you need to put that down. You need to put the date that you do it. You need to put a little bit of information, meaning this person said that they had to leave, they only had 15 minutes. This person was just driving around the lot. This person, we did the test drive. This person, we did numbers, he just wouldn't commit. I need you to track your numbers and understand how far in the process that you got. And what that's going to do, it's going to teach you what you need to concentrate on. Like a lot of people, they're not very strong with getting people out of cars, meaning like if they're just driving on the lot. When that happens,
Yeah.
I know you said you typically don't deal with a lot of lot ups, correct?
Not too, but I mean,
Okay. So, what part of the presentation is the most challenging to you? Is it building like a connection with the person? Is it presenting numbers? Is it the test drive? Getting them to say yes? Overcoming objections? What part, if we just want to harp on one thing, what part could I help you with the most?
Um, qualify,
Qualifying.
qualify my buyer.
Okay. So let's talk about qualifying your buyers then. Okay. So when you're qualifying your buyers, when you first meet somebody, how do you interact with them? What do you say to them? Because that all goes back to that.
Like I sitting up you. The first thing I said,
Yep.
I smile and say, "Hey, how's it going?"
Okay. Is that it?
And I'm like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you." Oh, it's nice to meet you. And that, my name's Luke. Yours is?
Okay. That's do it more enthusiasm. Hey, welcome to Nissan. So excited that you came in. Super excited to meet you. My name is Luke, and what's yours? Well, my name is Brent. Perfect. You know what? I have one of my best friends growing up. His name was Brent. You need to try to make a connection with him right away. Or I noticed that car that you pulled up in. I used to have one myself. Or that shirt that you're driving, or that shirt that you're wearing. You know what? I'm a fan of the LA Kings as well, or whatever you want to say. So just do it with a lot of enthusiasm. Your main goal, in sales, we've always heard the old term where don't judge a book by its cover. In sales, that's not the case. So I would, I don't like asking somebody how their day is going or that, because you know what, you just met them. Most people will be like, this person doesn't really care about me yet. That's why I try to build that connection right out of the gate.
Wet closer,
So that's why I believe that it's so important just right out of the gate. My goal when I was selling cars, and I would always preach to my salespeople, is within the first 60 to 90 seconds, you need to make them smile or laugh. And when I say smile, I mean like a good smile. So by doing that, they like you right out of the gate. If you can get them to like you within the first minute or two, you know what, the chances of you selling that person have significantly raised. And when I say significantly, I mean through the roof, because, like, I'll tell you a story. So a couple months ago, me and my wife, we were about to buy a brand new Cadillac Escalade ESV, $150,000. And, I inquired online because it was the perfect color. And, we drove to this place and had an appointment, everything. We got there, and the gentleman literally, the car wasn't pulled up. It was a red flag for me. And, and I love great salespeople. If you're a great salesperson, I'm not going to negotiate with you. I'm just going to pay for your services. And this person literally didn't have the vehicle pulled up. And then he said, well, I'll go get it. He pulled it up. We're ready. We got 2 kids. I don't know if you have kids or not, but they will only be good for so long. So then I looked at it. I'm walking around it. He opened up the car doors, and then I noticed it didn't have any gas. And then I looked in the back where like the kids was sitting. There's all kinds of trash, meaning it just arrived and they just had all of that plastic. And it was just like red flag, red flag, red flag. And then he was like, well, I'll go put some gas in it and then you can drive it. No, I just left, and that literally was, I went there to buy the car. So that just, that first impression is everything. And if you can get them to drop their guard in the first 60 seconds, 90 seconds, I promise you, your closing percentage will go way higher than it is. All right. So right after you introduce yourself, you start walking on the lot, you take them inside. What's the next step that you do?
So it really just depends if where I'm at. So let's just say I'm up here on my used car in inventory. I'd be like, oh, I mean, are you planning on like who's the car for? I'm trying to find who I should really be talking to.
Okay.
Hey, new used. Perfect. You're looking at new. Oh, so the new cars are actually over here. We'll walk and then I'll start talking and I'll shoot the shit with them instead of
Okay.
I'll try to go like wherever they like. Let's say they're on a like a Civic, but they want like a new car.
Okay.
I mean, I won't go over to like the Rogues or like the Kicks or whatever. I'll be like, so what? You're looking for like a sedan? Yeah, I'm looking for a sedan. Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay. Like, do you have any like must-have features or anything like that?
Okay.
Yeah,
Great question.
I kind of want leather.
Okay. That was a great question. Okay. Try this approach. Okay. So this is what I would do, and it works extremely well for myself. And everybody's different. But when someone's pulling up on the lot, if they are wanting one specific car, if they come there with one car in mind, great. Go ahead and walk them to that car, run inside, get the keys. If they don't know what they want, I would immediately say, you know what? I do things completely different than most people because I really love helping people get the perfect vehicle that they want. So let's do this. Follow me inside. We're going to sit down. We'll get to know each other for a few moments. And then I'm going to help you get the exact vehicle that you want. How does that sound? And very rarely will someone ever say, no, I just want to walk around. Most of the time, like, okay, perfect. It sounds good because it does sound good. And then you get them to walk inside, open their doors for them. And then when they get inside, you pull the chairs out for them. And then without asking, I'd always get 1 or 2 cups of water or however you all do that, because it's a fact where if you give someone something, it's over a 50% chance that they want to reciprocate that, and meaning buy from you. So you've already made a great introduction, meaning they liked you, your first impression. And then on top of that, if you can control them to get them inside, and again, you have to give them a reason why they're going inside. So saying what I said, it's worked very good for me. And I promise you, if you say it with conviction, it'll work for you. Then you get them in, you sit them down, you get them a cup of water. And then once you sit down, you pull out a piece of paper. Do you all use like a Foursquare? Do you all use a full disclosure? How do you all do that?
Foursquare.
Perfect. So this is what I would do, and this is what I always did. And we did the Foursquare as well. I'd get a Foursquare, I'd turn it over on the back, and I would, again, how do you spell your name? And I'd get write down their first name. I'd get write down their last name. And what is your cell phone number? And I'd write down their cell phone number. Now, perfect. Now, again, I want to help you get the exact vehicle that you want. Are you wanting a sedan? Are you wanting a SUV, a minivan, a truck? What are y'all wanting? Well, we want a sedan. Perfect. Or let's just say that they want a SUV because more people want SUVs right now. Let's just say SUV. So are you wanting more of a compact SUV? Are you wanting more like 3 rows? Are you wanting something like an Armada? What size are you wanting? Well, no, we definitely want something smaller. So you're probably talking like a Kick or a Nissan Rogue Sport or a Nissan. Rogue? Does that sound about right? Yeah, perfect. All right. So now that we've figured out the size, let's talk about the options. What options are most important to you? And then they're going to be like, well, just anything. I just want it to be all-wheel drive. Perfect. Or they might say, I want leather seats. I want a sunroof. I just want Sirius XM. I want those bright lights. So when I drive at night, I can see better. Perfect. And then you're taking all of these notes. Now, that brings me up to the next question. Are you going to be trading anything in? Well, yeah, we're going to trade in this. All right, perfect. Go ahead and tell me a little bit about that. And if you can get them talking about themselves, their family, their job, they're going to keep talking. And then the more they talk, they're telling you what you have to say and do to make a sale versus you just out there on the lot. You're just walking around wasting time. I like getting to know people personally, and you can't fire question because it feels like an interrogation. So whenever they are saying some stuff to you, meaning like the questions that you ask, you need also every 2 questions or so, then share some information about yourself. Well, me personally, and you use stories. Me personally, I sell a lot of Nissan Rogues. I know you're going to love it. I just had someone here last week and they bought it. And you know what? They brought me some cookies just a few days ago. Tell stories. And if you use stories, stories are remembered 22 times more than just facts. So forget the facts, forget all of that. Still stories about the cars that they are wanting to get. And then before I even show them cars or anything, I'd also ask them, do they want a new or a used one? And they're like, I want a new one. Perfect. Or I want a used one. Perfect. Awesome. Now let's talk about this. What kind of monthly payment do you want to be around? I never say monthly payment because I want to say around so I can bump them a little bit. So what kind of monthly payment do you want to be around? Well, I want to be about $400 a month. Perfect. How much money are you putting down? Not are you going to put money down? How much money are you going to put down? Well, I'm going to put down 2,000. Perfect. And do you already have that money to put down? Yeah, I do. I just got to use my debit card. Awesome. Now, let me ask you this. Would you spend just a little bit more per month to get a brand new one? And the reason why I want to ask that question is because I want to get them to open up the options. Because if I don't have the perfect used one, you know what? Odds are I might have a good new one that will fit inside their budget. So, and then once we're getting in all of this, and then I'm not going to get credit. I'm just going to say, do you know how your credit is? They're like, yeah, I got decent credit. Okay. When you say decent, have you ever financed a car before? Yes. Perfect. Did you make all your payments on time? Yes. Perfect. One question I love to ask is, what bank did you finance that with? Or what bank are you currently financed with? Because that tells you how their credit is. If they tell you a bank that, it takes good credit to be with them, then they got good credit. Or if they tell you that, I'm with, Santander or some bank that deals with worse credit, then that, they have average credit. And then at that time, say, this is what I would like to do now. So I'm going to go in there, and right up there is my managers. I'm going to kind of tell him how much money you're putting down, what monthly payment you want to be around. And, and he's going to give me some options. And then I'm going to come back here. And then, you know what? If you want to look at all of them, great. If you want to look at just one of them, I'm here to help you. And I promise you, I will help you get the perfect car. How does that sound? Everybody's going to say, oh, yeah, that's awesome. Because it shows that you were taking sincere interest in that person. And, and whenever monthly payment they tell you, just say they say $400 a month. Let me ask you this. If I can find you the perfect car that you absolutely love, do you think that you can do like 450 to 500? I will always try to bump them a little bit just to open up the options of what cars that I can show that person. So in my opinion, try it that way. And, sales, a lot of people will, it's all about control. If you can control that person to get them in to go over all of this information, then you've got a very good chance of selling that person. But if they're leading you outside, walking you around, who's in control? They are, because you are following them. So try to take control right up front and get them to go inside, sit them down, understand their needs, their wants. And by asking the right questions, they're going to tell you what you have to say and do to make a sale. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if somebody comes in, they don't really know what they want, bring them inside. Not so much work the Foursquare, but have the Foursquare in mind. Hey, are you trading anything in?
Yes.
Hey, kind of. Okay.
Yes, but do it on the back. Do it on the back of the Foursquare so you can take all kinds of notes. And what I would do is I would literally, the whole time I'm with that customer, I would, when we get up and we start walking outside, but let me back that up. Once I go to the manager and he gives me options, I write all of those options on the Foursquare as well. And then I'm like, you know what? I've got the perfect vehicle for you. Follow me this way. Or you can say, I'll pull it up for you. That's service. I'll pull it up for you. And then you run, get the keys, pull it up, back it in, always back it in, pull, and open up the doors, butterfly it. And then, it's ready for you. Follow me this way. And by telling them, follow me this way, you're in control. So then they're going to follow you outside, and then you do what you do. Me personally, when I did a demo, I did it different than everybody else. Me personally, I would open all of the doors. I'd never open the hood unless it was a muscle car. And I would literally stand about 5, 6 or 7 feet away from the prospect, away from the car. And I would just put my hands behind my back, and I see where the customer goes and where they look. If they look in the trunk, they're thinking about space. If they look in the back, meaning like the second row, then they're also considering space. If they get inside the car and they kind of wiggle their butt trying to get it comfortable, they're thinking about comfort, and then I'm paying attention to all of this. And when they're done walking around, they'll usually do it for a minute or two. Then they look up at you like you are a waiter, and they'll kind of give you a nod. And then whatever they looked at, that's what I start talking about. And then at a certain point, let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and get your driver's license, and we'll take it for a spin. And, you know, again, if you did this correctly, you already have that Foursquare. You already have their phone number. You already, you know, so that you're already going in the right direction. So by doing that, you know, you're going to be more in control. They're going to like you better because you've taken the time to get to know that person. And I'm going to ask them, do they have kids while I'm inside? I'm going to ask them about space. I'm going to like, where are you from? I'm going to spend 10 minutes on average getting to know that person besides what car they want. You know, where are you from? What brought you here? What kind of work you do? And, you know, if you can get people talking about themselves, their family, their job, they'll keep talking. And you might spend 15 or 20 minutes with the person before you go back to showing them a car. And by doing this, you're just building value in yourself in the dealership. And at the end of the time, they're going to be like, hell yeah, they want to buy from you because no one else does it this way. You know, and I promise you, if you do it that way, you'll crush it, man. But very important, do this like we talked about in the very first part of the call, and that is to every single up, you have to track it. And then you got to track how far in the presentation you got. And then that's going to tell you, you know, if you want to sell, what's your goal that you want to sell every month?
Goal wise, so I really want to sell 200 cars this year. Obviously, I want to sell more than that, but you know, I think it's a realistic goal where I'm at, just because we don't get a lot of foot traffic. That's 18.7 cars a month. Yeah.
So your goal is 200 cars. Okay.
200 cars
yearly. So that's 18.75. And you mentioned before that you want to break 20 because you haven't broke 20, right?
Correct.
Okay. So like next month, it's the shortest month of the year. Your goal needs to be 20. And what you have to do is to have a goal, meaning like a game plan also, because a goal without a game plan is nothing. It's just a wish. So you need to have a game plan of how to get there. And how do you do that? Part of the way is to understand your numbers. And then that's what's really going to set you up for success for March, because then me and you can get back together and we can say, you know what? I got in front of this amount of people. I closed at this percentage. I sold X number of cars month. If you want to sell 20, then, you know, right now you're at 1 out of 3, meaning 60 people to sell 20. So you need to improve at that number and also get in front of more people. And how do you do that? Social media, making videos. So are you on Facebook?
Correct. I'm big on Facebook. I run the Instagram and the Facebook for the dealership. I also do post on Facebook Marketplace. I tend to do about 12 to 15 listings.
What's your picture of? And I found that Nissan of Sacramento, correct?
Correct.
All right. I just now sent you a friend request. You got all right. So you only got 16 friends. It's got to go up. All right. So the next thing I notice is you haven't made a post since October the 14th of 2023.
Yep.
Okay. So this is what you got to do. Okay. And I promise you, if you do this, you'll kill it. So Facebook is the #1 place that you're going to get more sales from than anything. So you've been there for 7 months. You sell on average, just say 15 cars a month. So that means you've sold 75 cars since you've been there. So 70, you know, you should have all 75 of those on your profile, where when you make a sale, you've got to become friends with that person. You have to become friends with them. And immediately you got to take a picture. You got to tag them in the picture. And then what that does is all of their friends are going to see that. And then all of the people, they're going to say, what? Congratulations. And then what you got to do. Yeah. And then what you got to do is you got to like that congratulations, the comments, you got to like it. And then what you got to do is you have to immediately send that person a friend request. And then send that person a nice message saying, you know what, I helped your friend get this vehicle. They were amazing to work with. If you would like to upgrade your vehicle, my cell phone number is this. I would love to help you. And you got to think, if you're selling 20 cars a month, every person knows at least 5 people, meaning that say congratulations. So every month you should add 20 times 5 is 100. You should add at least 100 new friends every single month. Some people know 15, 20, 30 people that say congratulations. You should be adding hundreds of people to your friends every month, and they know that you work there. How many internet leads do you get a month?
Good question.
What would you say?
It's a lot, probably.
200, 300, 400?
Let's just say 200.
Okay, and you
go in my CRM. I'll say about 200.
Okay, do they all go to you, or do they go to other salespeople?
They go to every salespeople. We have 6, 7 in now.
Okay, so are you in charge of all of the leads, or just your share?
Just my share.
So
we'll do like a sticky round robin.
Okay, so how many leads do you personally get?
Let's just say 200. I get about 5 a day, so 5 times.
Damn. Okay, so 5 a day. Yeah, you're rolling. So everybody gets that amount of leads?
Yeah. I mean, it's depending on the day. Obviously, some will get less, some will get more, but typically, it's about like 3 to 5.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is like my mindset. If you should be closing at least 10, do you know what you're closing at internet percentage wise?
Internet percentage, I would have to look at my CRM, but it's probably like 5%.
Okay, so don't take this the wrong way, but that's not good. You need to be, yeah, you need to be closing at 10%. So if you get 200 leads, 10% is 20 deals by itself. 20 deals before Facebook, 20 deals before lot ups. Like me personally, when I sold Nissans, it was at least 12, 13, 14%. So do you have an internet process?
Processes in like how do I get them to the dealership?
No, internet process. Okay, so this is the process that I've done. Okay, and I'm happy to send it over to you. So do you know how long on average it takes you to call the customer or to get to the lead?
It takes roughly about 5 minutes.
Okay, so you need to 5 minutes. Anything 5 minutes and under is a good, because you're probably reaching them first. So, like me personally, me and my team, we'd always do 1 or 2 minutes, but anything under 5, you're probably the first, maybe the second person to call that person. So if you can get it down to 1 or 2 minutes, you're guaranteed to be the first person. So just to throw that out there. So you need to harp on your process. So the first thing you're going to do is stop the clock. The second thing that you're going to do is you're going to read the lead. And when I say read the lead, 1 out of 10 people ask questions, meaning they might say, what color interior is this? Is this 4-wheel drive? So 1 out of 10 people ask questions. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to call the person. Some dealerships text first. That is a mistake. You want to call the person first. You want to, if they don't pick up, you always leave a voicemail. The next thing you want to do is you want to send a customized text. Do you have customized text like templates already set up, or do you have to type out every single text that you send out to people?
Typically what I found that works the best is when I do text, I'll be like, hey, look over at Nissan in Sacramento, see you're interested in Nissan Rogue, is that correct? Question mark. And then, yeah, but that's like my first port of contact for either email or text.
I like that question because it tries to get them to say yes. But also you need to give them a little bit more, like this is Luke here at Sacramento Nissan. Thank you so much for inquiring. You need to build them up. Thank you so much for inquiring about a Nissan Rogue. I've got great news. We've got a huge inventory of them. What I would like to do is to get you to come out here and see them in person. How does that sound? Something like that. Or, we're open today until 8 o'clock. What time is best for you to come by and take a test drive in person? Something like that. But you want to say thank you right out of the gate for them inquiring, and don't just get them to say, there's nothing wrong with what you said, but it could be twerked a little bit just for better engagement, because you asked a closed-ended question and it's only going to get a yes or a no. By asking open-ended questions, there's more, you get more of a feedback, if that makes sense. So, so that's in, do you have to type that out every time, or is it already built into a template where you just click it?
It's not built in. I type it out, but it takes me like a couple seconds.
All right. So this is what you want to do. Cause if me personally, I would always have everything built out, because you can do it in a matter of 2 seconds. You can bam, 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 and then it's done. And you can set it up where, what CRM do you all use?
We use Vin Solutions.
Okay, very familiar with them. So yeah, you can build that. You can spend probably 2 hours and have your email template set up, your text templates, and it will save you so much time throughout the whole day. If you're texting people different things the whole day, it takes time. And by having just templates set up, it'll save you time. The next thing is once you call them, they don't pick up. You send a customized text. Do you send a customized email, or do you type up emails every different way?
So I do basically kind of like the same way as my text messages.
Okay, so you type everything out every single time. Okay, so try to do this, and I promise you it'll save you so much time. And I'm happy to send these to you as well, what I've used for years. And that is, you need to set it up for text emails, text templates. So understand that once, and let me go to one more thing before I go back to that. Once you send a customized email, the next thing that you need to do is you need to send a customized video. That's the number one way to engage with people. So meaning if you get 200 leads, you're going to send out 200 videos, customized videos to those 200 leads. And by doing that, if you say their name in the video, they're going to respond, I'd say 1 out of 3, half the time, roughly speaking, where they will engage with you, because you did something that 90% of other salespeople don't do. And that is, average salespeople just call, text, email, and that's it. If you're different, if you send them a video, just say they inquire about a VIN specific Nissan Rogue, you need to send them a video of that specific Nissan Rogue they inquired about. If just say it's a Nissan Rogue in general, you need to walk outside. Hey, John, this is Luke with Sacramento Nissan. You inquired about Nissan Rogues. Look at this. And then you kind of turn your camera all around. We've got 12 of them here right now. So I know for a fact we will have something that you will absolutely love. My cell phone number is this. Let's get together. Let's help you get the perfect one. Give me a call. Have a great day. But the number one way that you can engage better with people, that your internet closing percentage will go through the roof, is if you send videos to people. And then on top of that, you need to call your leads twice a day for 7 days straight. It's a fact that more people than not buy within the first week of inquiring. So that's why you need to call twice a day. Most people typically call one day, they call for a couple of days, and that's it. They give up. You need to call for 7 straight days, 2 times a day. Even on your off day, spend 30 minutes calling your leads. And I promise you, by doing that, your closing percentage will go through the roof. An average is 8 to 10%, meaning internet closing percentage. So if you get 200 leads, average is right at 10%. You'll get 20 deals just from your internet leads. And then whatever you sell on top of that, referrals, repeats, walk-ins, you'll start selling 30 cars a month. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So track numbers, internet closing percentages, you have to give them up. If you were working for me 5%, buddy, I'd say you better increase that, or you're not going to be getting leads. Just because, you need to deal with those people. You need to have better processes in place. You got a very good voice on the phone. That's a fact. Like, I like your voice. You sound very good on the phone. So you've got that working for you. Not everybody's got a good phone voice like you do. So that's awesome. But yeah, so, getting people to like you right out of the gate, that's going to help you. The control is going to help you. And then your internet closing percentages, if you define that and have a good process. But in the internet process, the one thing that you have to change, everybody gets a video. Don't send one video to the same video to 10 different people. Don't do that. In the video, you have to mention their name. And then what you'll find happen is more people will engage with you. They'll be like, thank you. And they'll be like, awesome. Thank you so much for saying that. And then you just engage with them, and if they're engaging with you, you've got a very good shot of getting that person there on the lot. You've got a very good shot of once they come in to control it to get a sale. And 20 cars, man, you just got to mentally break that barrier. And I think if you implement all of these things that I told you, I guarantee, and I literally use that word guarantee, you will guarantee sell 20 plus cars a month. Like, I've sold 40, 50, 60, 64 cars a month, and it's all about your process. So, just think this, go ahead.
Question about, like, it's not a lot of cars, like,
Go ahead.
because, I mean, just so my dealership is like slow. So there's not many people. I get old parts that are here, so it's not like they're selling a lot of cars. But like, what is your when you were selling a lot of cars? Would you be on your days off? Would you be at the dealership?
I didn't take days off. I worked in Indiana, which is what's called a blue ribbon state. You can't sell on Sundays. I'd work every day, Monday through Saturday. I'd get to the dealership at probably 6:30. I wouldn't leave until 8 o'clock at night. If I had a customer, I wouldn't leave till 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. I worked 80, 90, 100 hours a week, and therefore it allowed me to sell 40, 50, 60, 65 cars a month. It allowed me to make 30, 40, almost $50,000 a month selling cars.
How do you deal with burnout?
I have a passion for it, for sales. I never, like, me and the owner had an agreement. Like, I worked my ass off, but yet again, if I want to go do something, meaning like usually the first few days of the month, one of those days I would come in, I'd work a half day and I'd leave just because I need to go home. I need to spend time with my family. Like, we had an agreement where, like, he knows I'm making him all this money. I'm selling all of these cars where, if you're so good at your job, people are going to respect and see your hard work. And that was part of it. Like, also, everybody has bad days, including myself. So if someone really pissed me off, just say, like, another salesperson skated you, most of the time it didn't bother me, but there was one person that literally did it so much, and it would just freaking infuriate me. And sometimes like that, I'd literally take a nap for 20, 30 minutes and I'd wake up and I'd feel great. Or sometimes I would just have to leave, leave for the entire day. But he knows the next day where I come in there, my head is back on where he doesn't have to put me together, So, everybody's different. So I don't know how you're built. I don't know how your management team is. But also it got to a point where I had to have an assistant, because filling up cars with gas, taking them to detail, doing all of this takes work. So, I got to a point where when I sold the 60 cars a month, 64, for that time alone, I had one assistant. But when I was selling like 50, I sometimes had two assistants, because your time is valuable. But there's a big difference between everybody. And like me, when I got in front of somebody, 70 to 80% every month, I would close in person, meaning, if I got in front of 10 people, 7 or 8 got closed. So, that's why I said, when you said 1 out of 3, like, very good numbers is 1 out of 2. Average is 1 out of 3. So that's why when I said earlier, I asked you that question, you need to track your numbers to understand that. And to sell more cars, you got to improve your numbers. And if you don't know your numbers, you're just literally going to work every day, just hoping things are going to get better. It doesn't work that way. So how do you sell more cars? You need to redefine your processes, including the internet. That the internet by itself, if you fix it, that'll get you 20 cars every month if you get 200 leads. If that's the truth, 200 leads, 10%, you're guaranteed to get 20 leads. If you work for me, guaranteed you'd sell 20 cars just from internet. So 5%, you need to double that to 10. How do you do that? Get better engagement. You need to get better on the phone training. You need to get a mentor. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do to increase that. Next thing is again, 1 out of 3, you got to figure out how you can get in front of more people. How do you do that? Social media. How do you do that? More like referrals, repeats. If you do, and what I'll do is I'll tag you in this video and you can go back and listen, because I know I'm very passionate about sales and I talk fast because I've done it and I know what to do. So I'll tag you in the post and then you can go back and listen to this, because I know everything that I say. You're only going to pick up a certain part where you can go back and listen to the entire call and you can, implement all of these strategies. But if you can literally, how do you sell a higher percentage? And that's getting them to like you right out of the gate. Don't ask them how they're doing. Like on the phone, I used to sell investments on the phone. That was the one thing that people, if you go up to somebody and like, how you doing? They know that you don't care. You might care, but you don't know them. So I'd avoid that question and then just go right into just making a friend with them, making a connection. How do you make a connection? Their shirt, their hat, what they drove in on. There's all kinds of different ways that you can make that connection. And then you need to you can't just say, follow me inside. I do things a lot different. And that's what I would say, like verbiage to the customer. I do things different than most car salespeople. And what I love what I do, and my customers love me. I like sitting down with people and really getting to know you. And you can tell me exactly what you want. And I promise you, I give you my word, I'll help you get exactly what you want. How does that sound? And 90-something% will be like, yeah, that sounds good. Follow me this way. That's something that I did very good, is follow me this way. And if you can get them to follow you, that's control. And if you can control them, you can sell them. The people that you can't control, you've got to really get them to really, really, really like you. And that's how you sell that person. So, I'm always sizing people up in the terms of, can I control them? Can I control them? And if you can do that, then you can do it. But again, if they get on the lot, you're following them, they're in control. It's harder to sell that person if they're in control. So try to do that approach. And I promise you, if you do it and you can, again, just tell them to come inside. You've got to give that little spill that I just used. It'll work for you. And then you get them in, be nice, water, sit down, pull out chairs and spend time, share knowledge about you. Me, my salespeople, me personally, I'd always have pictures of my family, because the most comfortable place in the world is your home, meaning you're not thinking about outside things. You're just comfortable. It has its own personal smell, so that's why your desk, you need to have pictures of your family. You need to have pictures of your hobbies. People see that, they relate to it. They like that stuff. So if you don't have anything like that at your desk, you need to change it and, throw a few pictures on there. That'll help you as well.
Another thing that like tends to somewhat be an issue, it's like not like a verbal issue, but I can tell sometimes, is when older people come on the lot. Like, I don't know if you know this, but I'm only 19, so I'm just a youngster.
That's okay.
So when I up old people, I already like have an uphill battle that I have to fight of. I'm young. What do they know? Like, what do I know about car sales when I do this every day?
You're looking at it from the wrong standpoint, where you thinking that it's a battle. It's not a battle. It's a matter of you. What do old people love doing? They love talking. They like sharing their experiences with you. I'd get that person to start talking about, 50, 60 years ago, where it brings up, if you can get that person to tell you stories about the past, what does that do? It gets them to think 40, 50 years ago, a very positive time in their life. It brings up endorphins. It brings up like good memories. It puts them in a better state of mind. So don't look at it like you're doing battle, like an uphill battle. That's the wrong approach. you need to think of it where you need to, again, get them to like you. How do you do that? Old people, they love interacting with people, because most people, they kind of push old people off in our current society where they just don't, that's why when old people go to homes, their family members don't even visit them anymore. So they're lonely. So, when especially when someone retires, they're not around as many people as they used to. So they want to talk, they want to interact with you. So that's what you need to do, is interact with those people better. And if you do that, then they're going to like you. Like, you need to look at them as, getting advice from. One question I'll ask every single person I've ever sold a car to: what was the first car you ever got? And you ask an old person that, and it's going to bring up so many great memories. And I ask that question every single time to every person I've ever sold. What was your first car? And it brings back memories to people. And, those memories bring up endorphins, and it brings up like good, like happy memories. And, you put that in your repertoire and ask that, what was the first car you ever got, especially older people. And you'll be amazed at, you watch their facial expression. It'll bring a smile to their face, and you probably don't even know what that is. I don't. But you know what? When we get back inside, I'm going to look it up on my computer because I'm curious what the car looks like. Stuff like that. And you need to, just treat them with respect, old people, like I don't know if your family taught you that, but treat your elders with respect and get them talking. As a salesperson, they should do more of the talking, meaning the prospect, than you. You need to be taking the notes. You need to be getting them to like you. If you're doing all of the talking, then you're not really doing your job. They're not telling you what you've got to say and do to make a sale. I believe truly by asking great questions, they're going to tell you what you've got to do to make a sale. So you need to get in control, sit them down, and ask great questions. Share a lot of information about yourself as well. And also look at it from this standpoint. When you said something a few moments ago that you're only 19, look at that as a favor. What advice would you give me if you were 19 years old? Ask older people that questions. They will sit there and talk for 15, 20 minutes. If they talk 15, 20 minutes, are they going to buy a car from you? Absolutely. If you don't like somebody, do you want to buy something from them? The answer is no. It's very hard to sell someone something that they don't like you. So that's what you need to concentrate on, get that person to like you. So try that approach, and I promise you, put the spotlight on that person, whoever it is, older person, younger person. Younger people think that you're going to take advantage of them. Middle-aged people, older people, they all think that salespeople are just terrible people. That's why it's so important to get that person on the inside, sit them down, get to know that person, is because then they're like, this person actually cares. This person is actually taking notes and listening to me. So many people, when they're car sales or whatever, when they're face to face or on the phone with a salesperson, a lot of times that salesperson just drifts off and they're in la land. They're not paying attention. They're more thinking what I'm going to say next versus really like paying attention to those people. Pay attention to the people, like take notes. And I promise you, like, you'll kill it, man. Like, I was taught relationship selling. If you can make a friend, you will make a sale. The sales just come when you make that friend. So do that, and I promise you, like, your closing percentages, you're getting further along in the presentation will go up. Everything will just become easier. Don't allow them to walk you out there on the lot unless it's one specific car that they want, or if it's two specific cars that they want. Then you get the keys and, again, make a friend. But if they don't know what they want, control, get them inside.
So going back on what we were talking about the first place about if a customer comes on, they don't really know what they want.
Yep.
So let's say I come in, I'm interested in an SUV, or let's say I'm interested in a Rogue. Would you go out on the lot and kind of like show them the Rogues, or would you still bring them inside and be like, hey?
Nope, I would not. I'd always, again, if you give them, you have to tell them why you want them to go inside. Once I sit there and I kind of like relate to them, meaning what shirt they had on, get them to laugh, all of that. After you can't just say that right out of the gate. After you build that relationship, that quick relationship immediately, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I like doing things completely different than most other salespeople. Most other salespeople want to get you all excited about a car. I want to do something completely different. I like really taking the time to get to know you. And how I can do that is this. We can go inside, we'll sit down, I'll ask you some questions. You tell me exactly what you want, and I'll help you get the perfect car for you. How does that sound? You always, once you make the statement, you always have to use a tie down. Does that make sense? Or how does that sound? And I promise you, like, if you do it in a good way, most people be like, yeah, that sounds good. And then you get them inside. And then again, you just got to treat them with respect, man. And if you do that, the only time you ever want to walk the lot is if they want something specifically. Besides that, I want to take them inside. I want to take the time to get to know that person, to ask questions about them, to share information with me about them. If you're out there on the lot and you're following them, they are in control. And if they're in control, it's hard to sell that person, because what if they say, no, I don't like anything. I'm just going to leave. What are you going to say? You don't even got their phone number. Try a different approach. Yeah. It'll work. I promise you.
Yeah, because you don't have the, if we don't even have the car, they don't like whatever. I still have their phone number. They'll know what they kind of want.
Yep. But here's the thing. So many times, if they really like you, they're going to take a car that you have that they might not necessarily came there for. I can't tell you how many times I've sold cars to people that are like, yeah, you got to think of this. 1 out of 3 times, if not maybe higher now, when people come on the lot, they leave in a different car. People don't know what they want. I mean, they do, but they don't. So that's why you have to take them inside and get to understand them. And that's why, I like saying, do you want a sedan? Do you want an SUV, a minivan, or a truck? Well, I want a sedan. All right, perfect. Now, sedan, you want like a compact, a medium size, or like a full size, and they're like, well, I want, about a Nissan Sentra size. Perfect. So you want more compact. What about a Rio, or not a Rio, but what's the other small one? Y'all have something smaller than a Sentra, don't you? Versa, that's what it is. Yeah, Versa. So also would you consider a Versa as well? And they're like, no, well, what I would like to do is at least have you sit in both of them just to make sure you get a good feel. And you know what? If you might get in the Versa, you might love it. So I'll at least get 2 keys. And you know what? If you sit in both of them, you want that. I'm always trying to open up my options, because if they get in the Sentra and they're like, nah, it's not for me, but then they might get in the Versa and they're like, oh, this is perfect. Absolutely. So asking them about miles per gallon, asking them about, like, I'll sit there and talk to them for 10, 15, 20 minutes before I show them any cars. And a lot of times if you do that, then you know what, you're in control. You can sell that person. It all goes back to control, man. It's, again, if you're following them, they are in control. It's harder to sell that person. If you can get them inside, you got a great shot. You sincerely do.
Yeah. Yeah. I never even thought of that way. I have an appointment 10 o'clock, so I'm going to try that out.
Yeah. Do you have an appointment on a specific car?
On the Nissan Rogue. So.
Okay. So is it any Nissan Rogue or a specific one?
It's not a Pacific one.
Okay. So yeah, do that on them. So the same thing that I got you. So when they pull up, walk outside, introduce yourself. Super excited to meet you. Thank you so much for taking the time to come. I'm really excited to help you get the perfect car. I do things a little bit different. And what I mean by that is we've got like 15 Nissan Rogues here, or a dozen Nissan Rogues here. I like sitting down with people, getting to know them, meaning what options, what features you want. And then, you know what, I'm going to help you get the perfect Nissan Rogue. How does that sound? And they're going to be like, yeah, that sounds perfect. And it'll work, man. I did it for 10 years and killed it. So, just provide value. And, you're 19. you got to think you don't have any bad habits. That's why I love new car salespeople or new people in general to sales. You don't have any bad habits. So now you just have to hone your processes. And if you can hone your processes, buddy, you'll start selling 30, 40 cars a month. I promise you.
Cool.
Yeah. So currently when you sell 15 cars a month, what are you making out there currently?
I'm making probably eight.
Okay. So you're making $8,000. So this year your goal needs to be like 10 grand a month. I know you said 200 cars. You need, in my opinion, 20 cars. That means 240 cars. Because if you can sell 20 cars every month, set something that pushes you. Because when you said 20 cars a month, but then you said 200, that means 18.75. So you're not really hitting your goal of 20. So I'd change my goal to make it fit 20 cars, 240 a year. And you can do that, man. I promise you.
Yeah. That's not much. That's 2 cars more a month.
Yeah. 1.25 more a month. I sent you a friend request on Facebook. Every time you make a sale, you've got to tag them. You've got to become friends with them. And how about this? Let's keep in contact. You tell me, I'm happy to help you, man. So stay in contact with me. I'll save your phone number and everything. Let me ask you a question. Because I'm going to this is your cell phone number, right?
My personal number.
Perfect. Do you care if I post this phone call since I did it for free to social media? All right. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to post it on YouTube. The YouTube's going to have the full version. So you can listen back to it. You can take notes from it. TikTok is just going to be like a 10-minute because that's all you can really do on there. I send you a friend request on Facebook. So, every day, just keep in contact with me, man. And I'll push you in the right direction, how to sell way more cars, make more money too, make more gross.
I like it. So you do have a YouTube channel.
Absolutely. Yep.
Do you post more educational like stuff, or is it kind of like the same thing as the TikTok?
So I've got a training course that's going to be coming out next month of everything, all sales. But YouTube is more long. I do more long version on there. Like I did a call yesterday that I posted. I think it was like 40 minutes. This call's like an hour. So I'll post that on there. That's more like, I want people to see that are in somewhat your similar situation where they can say, well, this is pretty much me, so YouTube's more educational. Yeah.
Okay. I'll definitely check out the YouTube channel because I thought it was you just had TikTok.
No, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Threads. I'm on every single thing. Snapchat. So LinkedIn. So you put my name in every social media and you'll find me.
Okay. Because I did not know that.
Yeah. Go on there. Hey, go close some deals. All right, big dog. I hear you're already there. All right, man.
Yep, I have.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.